Okay, so basically what you need to know about the CSEC Chemistry Exam. So basically, you have a paper 1, you have a paper 2, and you have a paper 3 for the CSEC Chemistry Exam. If you want to know how to pass CSEC Chemistry, or basically hear my story behind it, you can go ahead and check out that. The link will be down below. But besides from that now, basically how the exam is set up. So as I said before, we have a paper 1, we have a paper 2, and we have a paper 3. So the paper 3 would only go for persons who did not do an SPA. So people who did not do the lab book. So that means you never did complete the labs and full up a lab book and all that stuff. So those people would be the people who do a sit a paper 3 exam. So that's that. And then you have the paper 2, which is obviously the written paper, meaning say no MCQ, everything you have to write. You have to plot graphs and all those stuff on the paper 2. And then you have the paper 1, which is basically MCQ. It's going to be 60 multiple choice questions, right? So for the paper 1, 60 MCQ, and it's going to be 1 hour and 15 minutes. So that's the paper 1 exam, and just my overall tip or advice on how to pass the CSEC Chemistry paper 1 exam is to watch past paper videos. So if you go up on YouTube, look up CSEC Chemistry paper 1, and I guess people are work through different questions, because literally when I do it, that was what I did do. Because honestly, unless you're really bright in a chemistry, honestly, you're not gonna remember everything, you're not gonna learn everything completely, you're not gonna master everything in a chemistry, honest truth. So what me did do for my chemistry exam, and this is basically when I start doing my other exam now, I realized, okay, if I watch these past paper videos, it actually helped me with my exam. So what me did do is start watching the CSEC Chemistry paper 1, as in the teacher, I work out the questions, them, I explain why that is the answer. So when you watch those videos, it actually really help with the paper 1 exam. And then for the paper 2, you need to know how to plot a graph, because not just chemistry, also biology and physics, you are going to see a graph on that paper. And that is why when I remember the exact grade scheme, usually when you get your results, you're going to see either a B or a C beside each like criteria, and one of them is like the analyze or interpretation, basically your lab skills, right? So that's the whole purpose of the graph. So they want to know if when you get data, you can interpret it. So that's basically the main essence behind that. 2 exam is going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes. So basically 2 hours and 30 minutes, and there's a reason why they might give 2 hours and 30 minutes to do it. So do not underestimate it. They know exactly why. So basically 2 hours and 30 minutes are almost 3 hours. 3 hours to sit down on an exam and just write and just interpret, right? So some of the main things then where you just honestly you now get past them, as I said before, the graph, interpreting the graph, being able to draw a graph, put the results on the graph, or if them people give you a graph, you still would have to interpret it. And the next big thing is knowing the periodic table. So before you even do the exam, make sure you know the periodic table, because when we start doing chemistry in a grade 9, we did learn the periodic table, the first 20 elements, right? The first 20 elements in a grade 9, right? So it all starts there. So you cannot say you're going to do a chemistry exam and you don't know the first 20 elements. That doesn't make no sense from the get-go. Periodic table is necessary for when you get to the point in a chemistry when you start talk about the different trends. So basically you know about the group 7 elements and all these different elements, because these same 20 elements are the periodic table that you should know. When you get to that part in a chemistry, when you start talk about the different trends and basically about how ionization increase and how we call it this affinity, we call it like the metallic property, or we call it the melting point, decrease, increase, different trends in each group. Yeah, basically in a different groups, it's very important you know the 20 elements then, because if not, you can really have some serious problem. At least the 20 elements then. in order to do the exam. I don't remember if them actually give the periodic table upon the exam, yes or no, but just know say yeah, I go get a question about the trends them, and you have to know the properties of the elements that fall within a certain group and what kind of trend, whether the melting point had increase, whether the melting point we call it decrease, going down, or whatever. You need to know the different trends them is very, very important in a chemistry, and the different reactions, things like that you need to know. So it means you have to go back to the syllabus, and look through the syllabus, because they will cover it. And to be honest, when we look back now, when we do chemistry, the major topic in a chemistry that me just never did even really click with, and it's sad to say, but me never learned this topic in a high school, right, was the whole moles thing, right? Because unless, me don't know, those just the way how my chemistry teacher did teach it, me never understand moles, me never understand it. Me don't know what me do on the exam with the moles section, but me never really 100% understand the whole moles thing. Me know me just write something, me did have a little idea, but it never enough, you understand what I mean? And it's actually when me start college and me realize, oh, so when me start the chemistry at college and me realize, oh, me should have learned this long time, but me never did learn it. So now me I learn it now. But moles is a very important topic in a chemistry that you need to know. So the moles thing, and also how to balance chemical equations, is very, very important. If you know how to balance different chemical equations, also be able to, and it go back, everything in a chemistry go back to the different elements, because for example, Na, you need to know, so that means sodium. You understand? So you have to know the elements, them know their, you know, the abbreviation, know their atomic number and the bottom number. Like, honestly, I don't remember all of them something because it's been a while, but you get the point, right? So you have to know, say, and the way how me did memorize the periodic table, right, is because of the way how me learn, me have to write it down. So, if you remember me in a grade 9, I may just sit down during we call it lunchtime. I may just sit down and write them. So that is how I learn it, because I may just write them down, because I may say how me things me really remember all of these numbers. And obviously you have different songs that can help you memorize them in like a certain order, right? You have songs that can help you, different like abbreviations, but then again, even if you sing the song, how you remember the exact number that match to it, right? You have to practice writing it down, so you can say hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, all those different things go down, and you count it down, and then you can say to yourself, say, oh, hydrogen will always be 1 1, and then helium would be 4 2, so that is how me memorize it. And then you'd have 7 3 lithium, and then 9 4 for a boron. But basically you get the point. When you write it down, you can see it, just write it down over and over and over again, and it will stick in your brain eventually. So basically, so me did learn the periodic table, but don't try to do the exam and don't know the periodic table. You have to solve a problem. At least knowing the periodic table, the first 20 elements is necessary. And when it comes to the trends, sometimes some other elements that, and the reason why I say it's so important to know the elements is because if even on the exam them give you the periodic table, and then ask you a question, but them only put the symbol, how you gonna know say that symbol means sodium if you never know it before? You understand? So them not gonna put out the name. So they might even get the periodic table and then circle or highlight one box and say what element fall in that group. And you probably just see something like maybe you put Cl, but you never know the Cl mean chloride, you never know that, right? So it's like all of them something there that's so important for you to know it for yourself before you're going to the exam. The thing that can probably help you when you do it is to remember your labs them. So when I do the labs them, for those who do the lab book option, so them don't do paper 3, them do the lab book option, remember the labs them we're gonna do. So if you remember the labs them, because some of the questions them might basically that's the same, that is basically what I test your pan. So when you're doing at the labs them, you might not see back the same thing, but it's a scenario, right? So if you remember the labs them where you did do, and you realize, oh, in the lab that you did calculate mole, or you realize you did mix this and this together, and you're going to the exam and they might say, oh, what will happen if this and this go together, right? And then you know, say, oh, I did do it in a lab, so you can remember the result we did get and just write it back on the exam, right? So those things, remembering your labs can help you in the exam. Also, if you get a textbook, So if your school rent textbook, you can get it from the school, of course. So rent the textbook, because to me, I feel like say use the little. I don't know, I feel like say the notes, especially if you have subject like chemistry, the little notes so the teacher give don't get it don't enough. It don't enough, because remember when I do the chemistry exam, I realized say what the man are teaching at the class, too much gaps in a way I teach. If you're going at that syllabus, you see all of the things I'm left out in between, because what I feel like, especially because the time limited in a high school, the time what the teacher them get, them just do the main stuff. So it means that some little things in between, them not really go on, focus on it like that. And then the next thing too, what we need to see when we do chemistry is during high school, the man just a rush to finish syllabus. Like that was him only goal. Him come on the board, him work one question, and he move on next, right? And I think that happened more. That's why I could calculate more, because I think one question and move on, and it's like no little in depth on it for make you really understand. As according to them, they not have enough time. The same thing with physics. They say they not have enough time. The school not give them enough time. But like they said, like a 1 hour session or whatever, not enough to teach what they need to teach, and yeah, but you get the point. But go through the syllabus for yourself and see it for yourself. Alright, so now resources. So there's a website called csecpasspapers.com. That's that. Then I also have my CXE playlist, which is going to be down below. Then I'm gonna link the chemistry video about how to pass chemistry. How to pass chemistry. I'm gonna put that down below as well. And then obviously the CSE playlist, I'm csecpasspapers.com. And there's also a free CXE study guide, which I'm gonna put down below as well. And then, as I said before, use the past paper videos on YouTube to help you prepare for your exams. So literally just writing CSEC Chemistry paper 1, watch them write the questions, go on watch the paper 2 them too, So watch the paper 2 and see how them answer the question, because basically the setup for the CSEC Chemistry exam is basically the same. It's basically almost the same thing every year. So it's the same layout, it's the same setup. So if you go on it, and you will see the type of questions that they may ask, because they're basically the same thing that I ask every year. Them just change it around a certain way. So you just watch the past papers, past paper videos for the paper 2 them, and the past paper video for the paper 1 them, and that will give you like an idea of what to expect. So you're not just going there and like completely clueless, I don't know what is what. So just ensure so you prepare properly. And then another tip that you can use in the exam is for the MCQ is the process of elimination. So when you're going to the exam, just ensure say if you don't know what the answer is, you can go in the exam and just choose it. If you have 4 options, choose the 2 options out of the 4 that completely no make no sense. Like make an educated guess and just eliminate it. You're left with 2, and then you just try and make educated guess between the 2 left back. But use the process of eliminations. If you don't sure, don't just sit down and panic and eat it and don't fool. What you can do is just use the process of elimination in order to get the answer. You don't know for the right answer, you'll get yes or not, but you're gonna get the answer, and that's all that matters. And see you go shade on the bubble sheet for the paper 1. Just remember the different bonds, like ionic bonds, covalent bonds, and what them call them diagram there again. Make sure you can draw the Venn diagram with that. I feel like I'm at that, but the same circle diagram. If you draw the covalent bond and the ionic bond, and you put the charge on it, make sure you know to do them there. Yeah, that are basically majority of what you need to know. And then also remember your variables. Remember what independent variable is versus dependent variable, right? So just remember those before you're going to the exam, and you should be fine. So if I said do not underestimate the CSEC chemistry exam. Just go in there and try to do your best. It's not modus is an easy exam, but it's an exam where you actually have to apply yourself. If you don't know nothing, you mean say you're going to go write nothing. So it's not a subject where you can guess the answer. It's not like social studies or maybe home management or foods, where you can say, oh, I don't know the exact answer, but me feel like I can come up with the answer, right? For chemistry, it's either you know or you don't know. There's no in between. It's either you know or you don't know how to do it. Is it you know the answer, you don't know the answer. There's no in between, right? But basically that's my thoughts on the CSEC chemistry exam. Anyways, this is the end of this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.